you're ready for marriage, but yet you're still single year after year after year after year. This may be why. We're going to tell you a few things. It's probably why. But before we tell you,
we're Terrence and Jill of God-Ordained Union, and we're here to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to help increase God-Ordained unions.
Yes, yes, yes. So if you're single and you've been waiting and praying and hoping and even fasting, wanting to be married, whether you're male or female, you are definitely on the right channel. That was our story. We were waiting. And for me, it seemed like a very, very, very long time. I was 52 when we got married.
Yeah, I was 54 when I watched her walk down the aisle.
Yes, yes. And so so this channel, we're not just coming from this married couple and saying, well, you need this and this is wrong with you and this. No, on this channel, we're encouraging you by sharing our testimony of what we went through and why we were blocked up and why the wait seemed so long. And so we're here to share. We're here to encourage you. We're here to
support you.
We're
here to be your cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to let you know, look, if you need a shoulder to cry on,
we're here.
Reach out.
Reach out to us. Reach out to us. We can help you get some clarity. Some things if we would have had a God-Ordained Union channel when we were,
wow,
it would have helped a lot. Like a lot of things we learned, from trial and error, and so we're pouring out. We're associated with other couples who are also pouring out and helping because we see the need. Mm-hmm. We see that there is no one's talking about. Very few are talking about how people are stuck in areas, and not just singles trying to get to marriage, but there are a whole bunch of blocks that's going on. People who can't seem to buy a house or can't seem to advance in their career, or people who can't seem to have children. And the truth of the matter is that the enemy is on his assignment. He is trying to block you from getting all that God has for you. And that's another part that very few are talking about. Yeah. So on this channel, we talk about it all. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share our videos. We go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a private group that meets off of YouTube every first and third Tuesdays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's only $11 a month to join the private group. You can cancel at any time. You don't have to tell us that you're canceling. It's you come in the group and you feel like, the time is off or it's not your cup of tea, because we talk. We get raw and we talk about, some very deep topics, and what we talk about in the private group stays in the private group. We also have one-on-ones. So if you would like to talk to us one-on-one, the two of us and you, that is available as well. We also have intercessory prayer every Friday night, starting at 11:50 p.m.
Yeah.
And all of that can be found on our website, GodOrdainedUnion.com. You can also click below. All of that information is below. Something new we started.
Yes. And as we talk about this, I want to say thank you off the gate. We started a portion of this where now we got some guys that have teamed up with me, and we are doing our best to bring men and their perspective and bring some issues that men have had a problem speaking about in the past, bringing those up currently and starting to share so we can connect and reduce that gap between men and women. So we are so excited. We had our first session with them of this. It's called Brothers. And that's what we call ourselves. And we went and did some things last night, and it turned out to be an awesome thing. You guys showed up, you responded. And so we are going to be bringing more information from the brothers in the future. So please, please, please look forward to it and stay tuned.
Yes. And ladies, this is for the brothers. So if you coming in, we're in there just to eavesdrop. but and to hear perspective, but it's a group for men to men. But you are invited to come in, and because the wives were there too in the background. But this is their opportunity to speak to other guys who are not very vocal, right?
Yeah, and it's also to show you that guys are looking for a safe place.
Right.
So as you comment, as you give your questions of things you'd like us to speak about and touch about in the future, be mindful that the whole point is to help men find a safe place to be able to start these discussions in order for you to start to meet them and understand, the gap of their perspective and why they see you, why they don't, and so forth. So we can connect those dots and bring the communication and the discussions closer between men and women.
Yeah, it was a beautiful dialogue. It was beautiful. We had a few technical difficulties, but it was a beautiful perspective from the three of you, from you, Kevin, and Mike. I was a little disappointed, and I'm going to be honest. I was a little disappointed with the commentary in the chat from women. There were some women who were very, very condescending with the comments, and which will go into some of what we're about to talk about. Very condescending in the comments and very judgmental. And it was, and again, this was a place, it was addressed to men, and women can show up.
We invited because we were invited. To know what you want to hear.
Yeah, we were invited, but it was like, but it just showed,
that there's a need.
There's a need, but it also showed, this is why a lot of these women are still single. It was like, not all the comments, because there was some beautiful comments that were coming through from the ladies, some beautiful comments that were coming through, very, very supportive comments and congratulatory comments, but there were enough of not negative comments, but the tone was negative. And so we want this, again, we want it to be a safe space for the population that does not always show up, which is men. So we want it to be a safe space for them to be able to show up. And so just be mindful of that.
Yeah.
So
and remember this
job.
Too, we're just beginning with men trying to create that safe space, whereas women have been in forums for a long time, and y'all have gotten comfortable participating in those forums. So we are trying to create a very, very safe space and a sacred space so we can share, we can discuss, we can get some common issues, to be spoken about from both parties. But first, we got to get the men to feel comfortable to show up.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do, is build that know, like, and trust factor right now, so we can build it and then start to have forums in the future where we have men and women on the panel at the same time.
Right.
But we got to get to that point first by getting the men to participate because they feel safe.
Right. Okay. So we saw a comment that was, it was very cute. It was a very cute comment. The person, and I can't even remember who it was, but it was a female, and she was just saying, she was congratulating the guys and just saying how she thought it was a great collaboration. And she slipped in there. She said, but the next time, can y'all each bring a single guy friend to the collaboration? And so, and it was cute because she also put in a little comment, said, ladies, I'm trying to help us out. So it was cute, and it was a cute gesture, but we have to look at this seriously as well, because this is the thing. The truth of the matter, realistically, the three of them can bring each. I'm sure each one of them know at least 5 single guys. They can each invite 5 single guys and us ladies too, or they can also, we can also invite 5 single women each to a common location. And the truth of the matter, the way that the gender gap and so many other factors what we're going to talk about. Each one of those people, men and women, the single men and women, can leave there and still be single.
And not have a phone number
and
from
not
any
have a
of the
phone
other
number.
people.
That is the sad truth. Men will blame it on, when they don't like the nice guys. They don't like the nice guys. The women will usually say, well, usually most men will think I'm married already. Or, they don't, I got a shrink for them, or they not used to a woman who got her own. And each are using these excuses regularly, and it's almost like a badge of honor. And they're walking around with this award and making it think that is attractive. And really, it's a block. Yeah. It's really, and it's amongst other things as well that we're going to talk about. But so what are some of the things people are saying, because you're ready for marriage. You want, and I always use it as this. You are ready for marriage, men and women, because once you make it up in your mind that you're ready for marriage, you're ready for marriage. And this is how I usually like to explain it. You're ready to go to Hawaii. You all packed up. You go to the airport and you're ready. But there's a number of factors that the plane ain't going nowhere. You might not have bought a ticket. It might be the wrong day. The timing might be off. The plane may have broken down. The plane may have been delayed. It could be, but you're ready. You're ready to go. You're packed up and ready to go. You got to leave from your job. You're already at the airport, so you're ready. But why are you still single? Baby, talk about it.
Look, and I got 5, I'm going to say situations. Okay, I'm going to say situations because each one of these situations can be a totally different thing for each and every one of you.
Or it could be all.
Or you can have all of them. Okay, so look at each one of these individually and then see where you are. Because I'm going to even point out what I think where I was.
Right.
As we go through these numbers, I'm going to point out where I believe I was. Okay, so because this ain't just about pointing fingers at the other sex or whomever. This is about all of us reaching what we are looking and what we're striving, what we're believing in God to do. So I want to share this right now. Number one, okay, this is you. You're ready, okay, but you're not approachable. You're ready, but you're not approachable. So what does that mean?
Yep.
What I'm saying is,
you can be guarded.
You can be ready, but the way you present yourself is telling people that you're guarded, telling people that you're not available, telling people that they can't come up and say something without you chewing their head off. It can even be you're intimidating people.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
The posture.
But it's the way you're presenting yourself, and people are reading you even from as far as across the room. Before they approach you, they are looking at you. So even when you don't know it, people are watching you. And if they see that you're approachable, then chances are they're going to make their way to speak to you or try to speak to you if no one else beat them to the punch. But if you look and present yourself as if you're closed off, if you're not accepting company right now, most likely that makes you not approachable, and people are not going to approach you.
Yeah. This is personally where I fell into not being approachable. And so thank God I wasn't the type to say, I wasn't hooked up on my looks, like, wondering, well, I'm beautiful and I'm this. But what it was is I was very approachable. We have a video about this. One of the reasons why I was approachable, because I did walk around with this successful Black woman thing on my chest, and it was pride. It was pride that was blocking. And so sometimes this also is where people fall in when they're women who are very busy. They building brands. They got these, companies, and they, it just seems like they don't have room for someone else, and they're not approachable. It could be also falls into this mean mugging. It could be the way you dress. It could be, not having a smile on your face. There's a scripture in Matthew that says, "Let your light shine so that men can see your good works and I think a lot of times women and men, they dim their own light. They dim their own light, and they blame it on the reason why somebody's not approaching them is because they believe that the other person wants them to dim their light. No, you really dimmed your own light. It's either you came off either shining your own light and not letting your light shine, or just not letting your light shine. And so that's what happens. The approachable part, people don't realize, men and women don't realize that a lot of people, you could be in the room with a lot of eligible people and people not see you. You're not approachable.
Wow.
You're not approachable. That's what I said. We can invite people. People say it all the time. We need some more single friends. But the truth of the matter is we could bring single friends, or we have single family members if they would show up. But we have some that they will come to an event and they won't see you, or they even are not visible. And that's the sad truth. They don't see you. They won't see you. And this also goes into, we've getting a lot of email now, especially from the private group members, that now they're starting to be approached. And that means something in the spirit realm has lifted. A lot of them are now starting to be approached, where before they wasn't getting nobody hitting them up. Now you only want one.
Right.
But it's only going to be one. But the fact that a lot of, even counterfeits now are approaching them, that's a good thing, because now it's like the veil is lifted. So,
and here's the thing. Jill and I was having a conversation, and we do this all the time, but she brought up a very, very good point, and I want to make sure I bring this out now. Look, even when you don't feel like it, but if you decide to go somewhere, go there and represent yourself right. Show up. Have that exciting, that enthusiastic look. Be who you are. You know what I mean? Let them see your light. Don't go and then sit in the dark on purpose.
Right.
Don't go and then try to blend into the shadows.
Don't go if you don't really want to go.
Yeah, if you don't want to be seen, then don't go.
Don't go. Don't go. If somebody said, well, come on, I want you to come to my cookout, and you go and you in a corner somewhere, don't go. Don't go, because what that is really doing, they say they're a Christian. They say they representing Christ. They a Debbie Downer. Who wants to be around, Donald Downer and Debbie Downer? Who wants to be around those types of people? Like, oh, they got a really negative disposition.
Yeah, so if you want to be seen
and approached,
when you decide to go, regardless of how you feel, show up and let the world see exactly who you are.
Yeah.
Number two. Okay. And this is where I believe I was. Okay. I'm going to say that up front. This is where I believe I was. Okay. Number two is, you say you're ready, but you're still healing. That's where I was. Okay. And I'm going to tell you where. Okay. You might be still hoarding bitterness. You might be hoarding unforgiveness.
Soul ties.
You might have some soul ties. All of those things comes across to other people, whether you can see it or not.
Right.
To the point to where, and here's where I believe I was. I didn't have a problem forgiving other people. I had a problem. I didn't know I had to forgive myself. So for a long time, I was holding myself in contempt. I was holding myself in prison. I was holding myself up to say, no.
Walking around in guilt.
Yeah, I was walking around feeling bad that the first one didn't work, to where I didn't even think about another one for years. So you can hold yourself up by sitting there saying, I'm not forgiving this person, or whatever the case is. You can't forgive them. You can't let it go. You can't learn from it. You haven't repented. Mm-hmm. You haven't done all of these things that you need to do. You just haven't done those things. You're still hurting. You haven't learned from that. You still haven't reflected. You still haven't given yourself time. You still haven't asked God to forgive you or deliver you. Mm-hmm. All these things are going on right now, and it's holding you up.
This also falls, and we have to be candid here. This also falls into those who are holding bitterness and envy and jealousy against others who could be getting married. Yes. Why am I always the bridesmaid? It could be men holding on to unforgiveness and resentment towards their mother. This is a big one. This is where you say you're ready to be in a relationship, but really in a marriage, but really you're not. You're still healing. You haven't probably even attempted the healing process, because it's probably, you're thinking out of sight, out of mind. Like, no, I'm really not. No, I was not, envious because my cousin got married to the man of her dreams. No, I'm not envious, but you showed up to her wedding with some envy. And this is the thing. This is the time to be real honest with yourself. You ain't got to have this conversation with nobody else but you and the Lord. But if you held some envy, just even looking through social media, I've heard a lot of women say this. I got to the point where I couldn't even go back on social media because everybody was having a baby. And I know I wanted to have a baby and I couldn't have a baby. And I couldn't even look at the happiness of other people having their babies. That's an issue. You need healing and deliverance. And I understand that we all go through situations and, we do have real human emotions.
Yes.
But what you don't realize is that is repelling. Mm-hmm. That's repelling of what you want. And so if you're dealing with jealousy because other people are getting married, or you're looking at other people's relationships and why she got him, or she don't deserve him, and she this, and why he, look how he loving on her, and and if you got those feelings, and I can't, we got a lot of people, we see the numbers, we can't necessarily see the subscribers. We got people, it's like we see it every season where it's a mass unfollow, unsubscribe. These are people who don't like to see probably couples in pajamas during Christmas holiday. They don't like to see all, it's craziness. But these are really, this is really going on in people's heart and in their emotions. And what you don't realize, if this is you, if you're experiencing this is keeping you blocked.
Yeah. And here's a big one that I just remembered, and thank you, Holy Spirit. This is a big one. People are putting almost on every single video we've put out. And trust me, we have out over 800 now. There's at least one person that always says, I can't trust. I haven't been able to trust others. Right. I haven't been able to trust men. I haven't been able to. If you can't trust, then how do you expect to find the person for a marriage? Not just a relationship, but to get into a marriage. So there's an issue there that is blocking you that you are aware of.
That you need to be healed from.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to be married, but
Yes.
And it's not even trusting yourself. I can't trust myself. I can't trust is, if you need healing from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's where I was.
Wow.
So, number 3 is your standards are clear. Your standards are clear, but your self-awareness isn't.
Oh,
that's a huge one.
That's huge.
That's a huge, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you're asking people to be something
that you're not.
That you're not even not. That you're not yourself.
I don't want him to have children, but you come in with 2. He's got to have great credit.
But you ain't got great credit.
But you filed bankruptcy and you got high debt.
He's got to have a high-paying job.
She's got to wear heels every day, or she's got to have her natural hair, or she's got to. But dude,
Yeah. It's
You
from
need a
both
haircut.
sides. It's from both sides.
It's from both sides.
You got to be who you want. If you're going to ask for it, then be it. That way, the other person can't sit there and look at you as if you're being a hypocrite.
That's big. Standards are high. It's a lot. This is huge because self-awareness is, I think, is an overlooked character flaw. You know, you can look at everybody else. You can have your standards and my standards. You know, this is my standards, and you know, you could have this, but you
it's a double standard because
it is a double standard.
You are judging people by what they are not, but then you're trying to give yourself a pass, for not being what you're expecting,
Or you're saying, well, I make 6 figures and I got this and I got that and I got that. Yeah, but your character sucks. Yeah, but your personality says you're not even self-aware that you're a millionaire. Yeah, but you live behind labels. Yeah, but you know what I mean? You a sucker for labels. You a slave to labels. Like, and I think if more people was a little bit more self-aware, you know, it's like,
that's a great one.
That's like me saying, you know, you need to stop wearing wigs. But girl, your hair's always up in the ponytail. You know what I mean? You got natural hair, but it's a bushy mess. So, you know what I mean? So it's like you got standards, but you're not even self-aware of how you're coming across.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something that's been recent that you and I have actually touched in the video before. And that is, you know, there was a thing on social media that's saying that, you know, people needed to be well-traveled.
Right.
And if they had a traveler's a passport. And we don't have a passport.
We don't have a passport. We ain't missing no trips.
But we've been to other countries. We just don't have a passport.
We ain't missing no trips. It's like, wait a minute. He's got to have a passport and he's got to have this. Girl, you ain't even been out the country. Somebody done told you that should be on your list. Girl, you ain't never been out of D.C.
Yeah. And that's something recent that's been in social media that we actually have responded to.
Yeah.
Number four. You're spiritually sound, but your rationality is unskilled. Here's what I mean by that.
Self-righteous.
You're self-righteous. Okay. What I mean by that is, faith is important. Let's say that faith is important, but so is communication skills, and you don't have any. Okay. So is conflict resolution skills. You don't have any. So what we're saying is, look, there's a lot more that matters, especially when you say you're ready for marriage, especially when you say you're looking to be married, than just one thing. You know, don't get yourself where you think, my faith is very strong, this and that, but you ain't got nothing else but that.
Right.
You know, it's almost like you want to be all around. Even like when you look at colleges, you know, before they used to look at you just for your grades. Now they're saying, we want to see that you're participating in extracurricular activities. You're doing community service. You're doing all these other things. It's not just one thing that's going to make you so great at being ready for marriage. You need to look at everything. Everything.
I think this one, your spirituality, you think your spirituality is sound. The thing about spirituality, it is not in the verbal. It is in the character, how you carry yourself. It's your fruit. Yeah. Are you kind? Are you showing up gentle and kind and loving? And so a lot of people think because they're carrying their pink Bible or they're, I'm a Christian and I'm this and I'm that. And that was in that whole thread. It was somebody in that whole thread on the brothers collab. It was somebody just, it was mainly one person. She was saying, you need to teach people that they need to be this, and she was quoting scriptures and all this. And I was like, but I wanted to say so bad, but lady, your character sucks.
Yeah.
Your character.
That's a perfect example of what we're talking about right now.
You could quote all the scriptures, but if you're not living them, if you're not walking upright and godly, you're doing more harm to the faith and drawing people further away from it. Sometimes it's just about
do you have grace for others?
Yeah, do you have grace for others?
Do you have empathy?
Patience. Are you patient?
Understanding.
Are you coming peaceful? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big one, and we're seeing that a lot. There's a lot of self-righteousness. There's a lot of you're spiritually sound, so you think you're spiritually sound, but you sound like a fool.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's like you think you're spiritually sound, and you come across. Well, I'm abstinent, and I'm celibate, and I don't, I am following the rules of the Bible,
it's
and
like
I'm
you put
doing
yourself on a pedestal above other people, and
that's making a lot.
Making yourself an idol to you.
A lot of and men, believe it or not, it's men too that are like it too. That's
I've heard men say, "I've created my world. I'm looking for a wife to fit in to my world that I created."
Who did that on a celebrity level? Which I'm gonna tell you who did that: Devon Franklin and Megan Good. Like when I felt so bad for her. Like it came across that he, this spiritual man, like he had grace for this woman who, I've seen interviews of them. She comes across as very humble. I don't know her personally, but it was like, oh, I really like them together. Like I really like he really had grace for her. And she is a believer. She is a believer. But then the way he, quote unquote, dumped her, the way he divorced her because she wasn't Christian enough.
Wow.
It was like,
Christian enough.
Oh my God. Like what in the world? It was like, so men can be just as much as women.
And that's why I brought that up. I wanted to make sure it don't come across in this video as that we're talking to women only. We're talking to both sides of this.
Yeah.
Number five, and we probably gonna have to explain this one just a little bit, just to make sure it's clear. But number 5 is you're waiting to be chosen rather than being choosable. And what does that mean? You're waiting to be chosen rather than being choosable. What that means is when you say you're ready, okay, it's not a passive thing. You don't get to a point and then you kind of stop and wait. No, what you need to do is show every single thing that you've gone through in your development, your personal development. Okay, you need to show, like she just said the fruit. Okay, your character needs to show the fruit that you've gone through a growth. It's one thing for you to say you've gone through a growth, but can people see your growth? Can they see that your development has changed since 6 months ago or 2 years ago when the last time they saw you? Okay, you need to live the growth that you claim you have, and you wonder why someone hasn't chosen you yet. And I'm gonna share this too, because I think this is really big. And that is, even as you grow, I think it's important that you acknowledge the new you.
In the new level.
In the new level that you are. What I mean by that, if you grow or you go through your growth, your personal development, and now you're a big fish compared to the pond that you used to be in, now you are a big fish in the little pond. Before you might have been a little fish in the little pond. Now you are a big fish because you've elevated yourself to where you've learned some things and you've gone through some development. So now you might need to reposition yourself in a bigger pond. So people see you that didn't know you before the development started.
So what that looks like for men is men who want more, but they still stuck in their own little country town. Mm-hmm. They are trying to advance their career, but they won't move from their little country town. Mm-hmm. It's the same old women, and they, want better women, and they want to be seen, but you really outgrown your town.
Yeah. You've outgrown not only your town, but you've outgrown your community.
Your community.
You've outgrown and don't take this wrong, Christian folks, but you've outgrown your church.
You outgrown your church.
And now you need to go to a bigger church or a church that is on another level.
Yeah, not so much a bigger size building, right? But somebody who's
going to elevate your training and your teaching growth. And your spiritual growth, because you've outgrown your past teachings.
Right.
So we have to understand, and I think a lot of times we don't give credit to the new us.
Right.
And we stay in these old, smaller areas, and is bounding us because these people have known you for years.
Right.
Okay. And they still tripping on things you used to do in middle school, let alone trying to find a husband or a wife.
Yeah. And so the pickings there are the same old people with the same old mindset, and you going crazy. And it's because you need to elevate.
Yeah, but you need to upgrade.
Upgrade. Everything needs to upgrade.
Your network,
your friendships. Not cutting off not necessarily cutting off your childhood friends, but getting some new friends on your new level.
Yes, that understands what you are trying to do because they're trying to do the same thing.
Right. But also, ladies, this number 5 also means this. It says, you said, honey, you're waiting to be chosen instead of being choosable. Mm-hmm. You're waiting to be chosen. Ladies, these are what they call as pick-meishes. You're waiting to be chosen. Pick me, pick me, pick me, which also goes into the scenario of, can y'all hook me up with one of your friends? You're waiting to be chosen. You're waiting to be chosen. Pick me, pick me, pick me, hook me up, pick me. I want to meet one of your friends. Pick me, pick. That is making men run instead of being choosable. Make them men chase you, or wrong word, pursue you. That's being choosable. That means you ain't waiting around saying, can somebody pick me? I'm single, pick me. No, it's saying, listen, while I'm in my single season, I'm about to thrive. Because I ain't going to be here long, but I'm about to thrive. I'm about to get my creativity on. So when he sees me, it goes back to, what's that scripture? I think it's Matthew 5:16. When he sees me, letting my light be so shining that he will see the good works that are happening, and he will glorify the Father. Like he will say, oh, Lord, it's something about her I want. And so it also goes back to what I was saying about, men just assume that, I'm married. No, that ain't it, boo. Because if a man is interested in you, he going to go through great lengths to make sure you're not married. The first thing he going to do is look on your finger. It ain't hard to do that. So don't be just appeasing yourself to think that, oh, he thinks that I'm married. That's why a lot of men don't, because they already think they assume I'm married. Get over that excuse. No, it means that you're not choosable. That means that he ain't interested. They're not really interested because you're sitting around saying, all right, please pick me. Please pick me. I'm an option. No, get out and do something with yourself while you're waiting. Get out and
let me share this with you. I don't mean to cut you off, baby. Mm-hmm. But I would say this. You should also want to get out of the rotation.
Yes, you say that all the time.
You got to get out of the rotation of knowing that he's seeing 5 and 6 different women and you're part of the rotation, and then you're sitting at home wondering why he ain't called you. Because he's on the date with one of the other women. Yeah. And you're waiting and hoping that he choose you because you think you're doing something beyond what the other women are doing. Look, Put yourself in a position for the man that feels he can't live without you. See you. You should want to be his only. You shouldn't want to be.
You in a category by yourself. But I think that's where a lot of women, they thrive off of, which goes back to the healing part of envy and jealousy, because a lot of women think that, okay, well, he picked me, over her. Kudos for me. I won, and I'm superior, and we're about to build this happy, marriage. No, don't work like that. It does not work like that. No, you take yourself out of rotation. I'm not competing with nobody.
Look, if I had
taking myself out
quotes,
the rotation,
that would be one of the quotes, is that I'm not competing.
Not compete. I don't need to compete. I'm not competing with nobody. And it goes, and it's so bad where it's a lot of women that are even, competing with a man that's already married. That they're competing with someone else's wife. They're trying to compete with a man's wife. He's quote unquote not happy. And, he going between you and his wife. And you competing with his wife. Like, that is some craziness. And you thinking because we're not sleeping together. Yeah, but you're emotionally in an emotional entanglement. You could be an emotional entanglement. And if you try to, and if you in that situation and try to, you're trying to buy time, and you think the guy that you also see as attractive, that's very much eligible and single, you think that, well, maybe you got a shot with. Nah, not when you tangled up over here. That's all kind of blocks and spirits that you entangled in.
Yeah.
And so, so it's
and I've seen that firsthand. I've seen that firsthand growing up in my little town. I've seen where guys would say, look, y'all know such and such is off limits because she is so wrapped up in XYZ. Ain't no need. Even if a dude take her out, he can't be from here because all of us know better.
Yeah.
We ain't even going to ask her out. So yeah, you don't want to be in that group. You want to be in a group of your own.
Yeah, because it ain't nothing like it. I mean, I know you can speak on this. When a man sees somebody he's interested in.
Look here. It don't matter. Look, I know a lot of people say they ain't trying to relocate. I know a lot of people saying they don't want to get on certain things because the distance too far. But when a man wants you and he makes his mind up that you are the one, I promise you, he don't care how far apart y'all are. He's going to find a way to get to see you.
And when a woman recognizes that you are, there's a connection between you and her, let me tell you something. We always say this. You could be the janitor, but a good woman, or when the union comes together, y'all about to own a whole janitorial company. She about to speak to the king in you, and it's going to be a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So, but you gotta get back into alignment.
Yes.
You gotta get into alignment with the Lord, and that's why. And this is a shameless plug, but the ebook is really helpful. It was made for women, but men, if you need to buy it too, go ahead and buy it because there's some things that you need to probably hear as well. You gotta get back into alignment. You need to be healed. You need to take off those patterns. You gotta really do some self introspection and some self-reflection. Like, it's some things that we're doing that's holding us up from not just marriage, but from a lot of things that God wants to do in our lives.
And especially to know that none of us are perfect. And we've said this many and many, many times. None of us are perfect. So stop thinking that the person that's out there that's for you is going to be perfect, and you're sitting back waiting for this perfection to show up.
Or thinking you're perfect and you're perfectly ready to be married. Because somebody said that. Somebody said this a couple of months ago. I think I've done all the work I need to do. That's part of the problem. You think you've done it all, and that's where it comes in. You start to blame each other. It's him. It's him. He got the problem. Or no, it's she got the problem. She don't bring me peace. And I think if everybody do their part, and they really have some self-awareness, like if you really do your part and really can own up, because I love the ones in the comments that be like, I know I ain't ready. I know I got some things to work on. Those are the ones we can get with. Those are the ones. Like, I know, because I knew for myself. I was like, I knew I had some unforgiveness. I thought I was this. I had this. I was standoffish. I ain't never go nowhere. I ain't wanting to be bothered with nobody. I was my biggest block. Me. I was my issue. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wait a minute. Which goes back to, I'm sorry. Which goes back. Let me tell you something. This is so full circle moment, because last night on the brothers call or the brothers live, you said that besides my heart, one of the things that you was attracted to in me was my vulnerability. And let me tell you something, that when I heard him say that, it was such an eye opener, because I had built strong Jill for so long, and for this man to see not strong Jill, but quote unquote a beautiful weakened vessel. And that's not to say it disrespectfully or belittling myself, but he saw a openness about me that it was like, oh my God, I really was at a healed place when he saw me, because I was like, I'm taking off the Superwoman cape. Yeah. I'm just taking it off. As I released it, I was in a very peaceful posture when Terrence came in my life.
I think that's something that we don't hear women speak about a lot, but I do hear women complain about it, almost to the point where they say stuff like, they've got their own business, they paid their own bills, they got their own house, they've done all their stuff, but they've done it on their own. And it's like they've never had a chance to relax and just to be able to take that deep breath and be like, I'm not in this by myself.
All of that accomplishments comes with building
it comes
strongholds and walls.
It comes with building, exactly.
Blocks.
A block. And a lot of people don't realize until they're behind the wall looking around it or trying to look over it saying, why aren't people seeing me? Because you built the wall, because you put so much into building who you are today, you didn't leave any room for somebody to come in and do it with you. And here's the thing. I get it. As you're living and as opportunities have presented themselves, women have taken advantage of them. So what we men have to do is to show them when we meet them that we get what they've already done. But it ain't over, which goes back to what one of the guys, Mike, said in the live last night, which is even when you meet the person that you're going to be with, y'all have to build the relationship that you want. Yeah. You have to create the relationship together. It don't come as a all-in-one package that when y'all meet each other, everything's perfect and you don't have to do anything else. No, now you have to build. You built as a single person. Now you have to build as a couple, because God says the two becomes one. And I create a new.
Yep. So you're literally, so what it looks like is you had your $1 million home and he had his $1 million home, and then y'all come together, and how it looks is that my $1 million home and his $1 million home, and we're going to have a happy marriage. Nah, boo. It means you sell your $1 million home, he sell his $1 million home, and y'all come together and y'all build a new home together. And that's the part where pride comes in, don't want to let go of what you built in your single season. All that becomes barriers. Not to say that you're not supposed to accomplish things. Don't misquote me. It means that you're not supposed to be attached to it.
Yeah.
If you got such a strong grip that this makes me, my Benz make me, let me tell you something. I brought my dream car on cash. I went in a car dealer and bought a BMW cash in 2006. It was my Christmas gift to myself. A BMW cash, 2006, midnight blue, midnight blue, a moon roof. I mean, I love that car too. I love that car. Let me tell you something. 2018, I was moving. Me and my niece were moving. I was living in Raleigh. We were moving, and we went to take some things to the county dumpster. Went to the county dumpster, filled up my beautiful BMW. At that time, it was 12 years old or something like that. Bought it in 2006. It was 2018. We got to the dumpster, turned off the car. The car would not start. The BMW would not start. Dead engine. I said, you know what? This is an indication I must go to the next level. Take this BMW. I don't want it no more. I've had enough. I called AAA. AAA came. They took this BMW. They couldn't start it either. They was like, ma'am, I think your engine is dead. I was at the point, I was like, let it go. It served my pride enough. Let it go. That man took us I said, take me to the closest dealer. The closest dealer was the Mazda dealer. Me and my niece, we went into that Mazda dealer. They said, ma'am, I give you such and such money for this. Take it. I don't care. Take it. I think I had my wallet with me because I had my driver's license. But we was a hot mess in the hot sun on a July 7th. Went to the Mazda dealer and they was like, ma'am, which one? I don't care which one of these Mazdas. I just need a car. Drove out with my little white Mazda. Well, I was the happiest. I was like, it's time to get rid of it. And I really felt like my pride had been broken that day. I had hid behind that BMW because to me, that was accomplishment. That was a success, and let me tell you something. While I had that BMW, not no man looked at me. No man looked at me and give me the time of day. They don't care because I was hiding behind it. I was hiding behind for that long, wondering why I'm not being seen. It's because it was pride. I was hiding behind my accomplishments, pride. And so this thing is real.
That's why you have to understand that when you first meet somebody, especially somebody you've never seen before, you got to stop expecting them on day 1, day 2, day 3 to drop everything in their life and make you the priority because they still don't know you. And God was doing something individually into each of y'all's lives until he wanted to do the introduction. So you got to understand that so you don't throw your expectations and things on a person that don't deserve it.
Right. And that goes back to number 5 with the pick me's and the choose me's.
Absolutely.
You meet a person, keep showing your good works, keep being gentle and kind and respectful and patient and all those things. But you're still in your single season. Do what you got to do. Do what you build on those gifts, talents, and skills. Yeah. And trust me, they'll choose you. Cause there'll be something because they know that you ain't paying them no attention. You got your mind focused on what God calls you to do in that season. And then that goes for men as well. If you want a woman to look at you and feel like she could be safe and secure with you, then in your single season, get your grind on. Everybody in America, every man in America should have a business. It doesn't matter if you still got a full-time job as well. You should have some type of business, something where you could get some tax benefits, some tax breaks. You should be building something, building your wealth. So when you meet your wife, you got something to take care of you, and some financial security. Like there's no excuse on either side.
And you don't have to say, I can match $1 million. But the fact that you got your own company shows you got some leverage that you can take and do whatever you need to do to advance what you got to do.
Yes. And give her something to be able to work with, to help you with when y'all meet. Because I'm going to tell you, these women, they will, a good woman, your person, they will, they will multiply everything. If you come and you bring her a business that's local, that's, home based, you meet the right woman, you meet your person, she gonna help multiply that. Mm-hmm. She gonna multiply that.
Yeah. You give her your seed, she brings you life. You give her your paycheck, she brings you groceries. You buy her a house, she gonna make it a home. Everything we give a woman, she's gonna take it and turn it into something bigger. The word says that he who findeth the wife findeth a good thing and find favor of the Lord.
Right.
There's my favor right here.
Wow.
And we doing something that I had no idea
Me either.
I would be doing before we met.
Yeah, because I thought maybe we would be doing real estate. I would have no idea we'd be having virtual real estate. I didn't know. But yeah, and so you're saying you're ready, but you're say you're ready, but really, you know, you might be looking at the man, women, you might be looking at the man, well, he's got to come with already put together and already, no, he might be God might show you a David. Like he might not be the king yet.
That's an awesome example.
Yeah, he might not be the king yet. And so you've got to be able to see.
You got to wake up. You got to awaken that king in him.
Right. And in order to even see a king in him, you've got to have the barriers removed from your eyes.
Yes.
So yeah, we all got work to do on ourselves, and it's under a fruit of the spirit called self-control.
Yes.
That's the fruit that we all can grow in. We all can grow in that area.
And here's the thing. For those of you that feel, men and women both, for those of you that feel you're ready, but you're looking at everybody else as if they're beneath you, you need to start looking at them with your spiritual eyes. Because what you're doing is looking at them through your humanness, and you're missing everything that God has placed inside them that you can't see.
Right.
And that's why you're running around saying there ain't this or there ain't that, or
it ain't that many men out here. Because that's how you looking at life.
Because you're looking at them from your human.
You're looking at it from a small
from
perspective.
a worldly perspective, but you're not looking at them from a spiritual perspective.
What you mean God can't? God, what? I mean, it's what, 8 billion people in this world? I don't know, something like that. And you saying ain't no more good men out there? You're seeing very limited. There's no good men out there. There's no more good men. That shouldn't even never be in your. And men said as well. Ain't no boy. You know, women like they'll make women like they used to. You know, women these days don't cook. That's because you're looking at the wrong women. That's because you're around the wrong women. And so,
get outside your paradigm and go do something that you ain't never done before.
Right.
Experience something you ain't never done before. Try something you ain't never done before. Join a group you've never been a part of.
Right.
You know, do something to introduce you to new people because you don't know where.
Open your eyes.
You don't know when.
New perspective.
God is going to introduce you to the person.
Yes. Oh, I think we said enough.
Yes.
All right. There's a video up here. Please watch it. It's about not being visible. But what you were going to say?
And I was going to say, look, we thank y'all. We thank you for spending this time with us.
Yes.
We pray that this video makes you think, but it also directs you back to God and asking him what he has for you.
Yep.
And with that said, we look forward to seeing you guys in our next video.
Yeah. Peace.